In the misty lanes of Little Hampden, a sleepy English village, a baby's birth should bring joy. But for Sophie and James, their daughter Lily's arrival sparks a storm. Her bold birthmarks and curious amber eyes draw whispers. Why doesn't she look like her dad? Gossip spreads like wildfire, poisoning their love. One glance at a village loner's weathered face unveils a chilling secret that could shatter their family or mend it. Keep watching for a heart-wrenching tale of betrayal and redemption. I'm your host, Mark YESSEN. Let's dive into this gripping story. Little Hampden's cobbled lanes, choked with mist, bred cruel gossip. Sophie cherished Lily's amber eyes and scattered birthmarks like tiny stars on her cheeks. But at the village co-op shop, whispers cut like knives. "She's no child of James," women sneered, their eyes cold as ice. "Strange little thing," one spat, her voice full of scorn. "Not his, poor man," another hissed, smirking. James, a burly delivery driver, trudged home, the village's taunts clawing at him. "Your girl's not yours," a mate jeered at the local pub, his laugh sharp. That evening, passing old Reg's crumbling cottage, James froze. The loner's face bore birthmarks, identical to Lily's. Suspicion coiled in his chest like a snake. That night, James crashed through the door of their terraced home, rage blazing in his eyes. Sophie sat by the flickering gas fire, humming to Lily, but his venomous glare silenced her. "Old Reg's marks match Lily's," James roared, fists trembling. "You've been with that filthy loner, haven't you?" "James, you're insane," Sophie screamed, clutching Lily. "I'd die before betraying you." "The village sees it," he thundered, stepping closer. "You've made me a fool." "She's our daughter," Sophie sobbed, tears soaking her cheeks. "How can you let their lies destroy us?" James's face twisted with contempt. "Get out, now," he snarled. Sophie's world shattered. Hands shaking, she grabbed a holdall, Lily's cardigan and a packet of rusks, stumbling into the icy night. Little Hampden's lanes loomed like a prison, mocking her pain. Sophie staggered through the village. Lily pressed to her chest, the wind slashing her face. Fear choked her. Would Lily grow up shunned, branded by the village's lies? In the churchyard, she collapsed under a twisted tree, her jacket shielding Lily from the biting cold. Shadows whispered scorn, and a rustle made her heart leap. A gang of youths jeered from the lane. "There's the cheat!" one shouted, hurling a stone that grazed her arm. Maggie, a fierce woman with silver braids, stormed forward, her eyes blazing. "Oi, clear off!" Maggie barked, then softened. "Pet, what are you doing out here?" "James thinks I betrayed him," Sophie choked, trembling. "We're alone." "My mate Sandra in Aylesbury's got a room," Maggie said, scribbling an address. "She's a real gem." At dawn, Sophie boarded a creaking bus to Aylesbury, its market alive with colourful stalls and sunlight, a stark escape from Little Hampden's gloom. Sandra, warm but wary, offered a small sunlit room. Sophie scraped by on freelance work, her every thought for Lily, vowing to shield her from a world that judged too quickly. In Little Hampden, James's home was a tomb, his guilt drowned in a can of cider. The village's scorn burned, neighbours spat his name with disgust. "Drove out his own wife," they muttered at the pub, his rage fixed on old Reg, the man he blamed for his ruin. In a drunken haze, he stormed to Reg's cottage, kicking the door with a crack that echoed through the lane. "You stole my family, you wretch!" James bellowed, seizing Reg's collar and slamming him against the wall. Please, I don't know," Reg stammered, his frail body shaking. "Stop it, James!" Elsie, the widow next door, shouted, storming over. "You're mad! Come with me!" In Elsie's cluttered kitchen, lit by a single bulb, a faded photo of a smiling woman caught James's eye. Mary, Reg's wife. Elsie unravelled Reg's tragedy. Mary died of cancer, and their son was taken by Mary's sister Linda to London. That son was James. The birthmarks weren't betrayal. They were his bloodline. James's knees buckled, shame flooding him. Dawn broke over Little Hampden as James returned to Reg's cottage, his heart a storm of guilt. They sat on the splintered porch, the air thick with unspoken pain. "I'm your son," James said, voice cracking. "Elsie told me. Lily's your granddaughter. Her marks are ours." "My boy," Reg whispered, tears carving paths down his weathered face. "You're really my lad?" Their hands locked, a fragile bridge across decades. The village erupted. James was Reggie's lost son. Desperate to salvage his family, James called Sophie, his voice trembling. "I was wrong," he pleaded. "Reggie's my dad. Lily's marks are family. Sophie, I'm begging forgiveness." "You shattered us, James," Sophie snapped, her voice ice cold. "I trusted you and you threw us away. I've rebuilt in Aylesbury. See Lily if you must, but you've lost me." Her words cut like a blade, but James clung to hope for his daughter. James travelled to Aylesbury weekly, his heart racing as he pushed Lily on park swings, her laughter a balm for his wounds. "Dada!" Lily squealed, yanking his beard, her eyes bright as stars. "You're good with her," Sophie said, her voice edged with reluctant warmth. Sophie stood taller now, her heart scarred but unbroken, building a life free from Little Hampden's poison. James tended to Reg, bringing tea and mending his gait, their bond forged in quiet moments. "Never thought I'd see you again," Reg murmured, his eyes glistening. "I'm here, Dad," James said, the word a vow. One night, James stared at a can of cider, temptation gnawing. But Lily's giggle echoed in his mind, and he poured it down the sink, choosing his family. At the warehouse, he clawed his way to a promotion, saving for Lily's future. Little Hampden's cruel whispers faded, replaced by grudging respect. He was fighting to be better, one painful step at a time. Spring painted Little Hampden gold, its hills alive with promise. James stood outside Reggie's cottage, the sunset warm on his face. He saw Lily's radiant smile, heard Reggie's frail laugh. He'd lost Sophie to his own folly, but for his daughter and father, he'd battle any storm. Truth had ripped him apart, but love forged him anew. Lies can poison, but courage heals. Have you faced gossip that tore at your family? Share your fight in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more heart-pounding stories. Tell us, would you forgive James? Your story could light someone's way through the dark.